Good morning. It's me. I want to try to walk y'all through without showing you how dirty my house is right now. It's uh it's been a bit of a crazy week or two. So, I want to show you what's going on, what we have happening here, and also just chat a little bit. I've been missing everybody. I know that I've gotten some really sweet notes and letters and things from some of y'all, and I appreciate it so much. Let me show you these guys down in here. I've got their little light turned off because it's pretty warm this morning. Hey guys. Actually, I don't think it looks kind of blurry, probably because it's picking up. Let me move this back and they're going to fly. It's picking up the screen instead of them. But you can see how big they're getting. They've got to go out of here fairly quickly because they're getting a little stinky, and it's dangerous taking the top off at this point because they're flying. So it needs cleaned out. Check this out, guys. I wanted to show you, if you remember all of those starts that I got from my 2 or 3, I can't remember how many I had, African violets. They are coming along just wonderfully. And I also have 5 pots of the African violets, and they're growing really quickly and blooming wonderfully. And then down here, these are slow coming on, but these are little English lavenders. Lavender takes a long time to pop. I don't know why, but it looks like I've got maybe 10 or 12 up. So I'll take that. Yay. And while we're moving back through here, I'm just going to talk to y'all so you don't see my dirty house. But it has been a hectic couple of weeks. I needed to take a sabbatical because I was just having some just personal issues with frustration and coming to grips with how to deal with, and y'all know, I mean, Aaron made the video about some of the really uncalled for comments on his page, and I guess y'all that just as a mom, and I realize, you know, he's 41 years old, he is definitely not a child, but I don't know if all mamas kind of tend to be this protective of their adult children, or if it's maybe residual from having lost a child. I don't know, but I kind of just found myself developing a really bad attitude, and felt like I needed to just step back before I said some things. I was pretty harsh with some of the people that made comments, and I don't think I said anything that was anything that I should have to apologize for, but I just felt like I needed to step back before I did. And so anyway, and I know none of you ladies on my side, you're just wonderful, beautiful souls, and I appreciate you so much. And it had nothing to do with any of y'all. I just needed a break from it. And last week I had jury duty. Supposedly, the first day that I went in for jury duty, the officer up front said, well, apparently I guess they had not finished with the trial from the former week. It had continued on, and so I wasn't needed that day, but to call that evening, and so to see if I was needed the next day. Well, this went on the entire week. Had to call after 6 every evening to find out that I wasn't needed the next morning. And then on Friday, finally, I was totally released, which I was glad because I didn't want to have to do it. But, you know, I guess it's something we all have to do at some point. All right. Now, getting all that said and out, I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to do some stellar things this summer, and looking forward to hearing from all of you what you're doing with your summer. And it's so warm today that it already feels like summer. So let me show you what's going on here in my little temporary greenhouse room. Okay. All right. And this little guy right here, we have celosias and we have gomphrenias and we have some green frosted grass. It's kind of a filler. And I need to go get my book because I don't know. All right. And this one is Miss Corey's, and it's Savannah grass and Dusty Miller and feverfew. Let me see what else you have written on here. Marigolds and gray salmon. I'm not sure what those are, but they're coming along nicely as well. And these little guys are just beginning to pop, and they'll continue right on. Here's some of Corey's peppers and tomatoes back there, and I'll have to go get my little garden list because that's the only thing that I've actually tagged on the outside. Most everything I numbered, and I wrote it down in a book what it was, so that it was just a little easier that way. Then here's some of my little tomatoes. They're still coming on, and some of whatever those look like, and I'm thinking that they are probably zinnias. There's some more tomatoes, some more of Corey's peppers and tomatoes, and I have I'll have to look and see what I've got here. I'll go get my little list in just a minute. I've got sunflowers down here, but these have only actually been planted for just a couple of days, so they're just now coming on. Let me go get my book. I'm turning you back to me so you can't see how dirty my house is. It's been a crazy week, and if any of y'all watch Erin's channel, I know most of you do, I got for myself a book at the herb festival, the Healing Garden. So I've looked through it just briefly, but I haven't had a chance to, oops, dropped a pencil, really get into it. That's going to be a late evening project. But okay, let me open my little handy dandy guide out here. See what I've got. Okay, I've got lots of zinnias, all different colors of zinnias, limes, and beautiful colors. I've got cosmos. I've got sugar pumpkins and field pumpkins and nasturtiums, basil and dill and cilantro and watermelon, cantaloupe, zucchini, cucumbers. Let me see, some hollyhock. Hadn't grown hollyhock in a long time, and I resist growing it because it really spreads, if y'all are aware of that. Echinacea. I've got some summer squash and winter squash, and butterfly milkweed and amaranth, and eggplant. And I'm not certain why I did the eggplant, because I never found a recipe that really made me excited about eating it, and nobody else in my family seems to like it. Alright, now I'm going to spin you around so I can see what you're looking at. And when I started this video, you'll see that I had a little vase full of the Sweet Williams, and they're really pretty, and they must spread really well. I know that Connie was here about a month or so ago, and she had shown me some pictures of her garden, and they are apparently a perennial, and I wasn't even aware of that. Makes me happy, because I'd only planted like maybe 10 or 12 around that rock last year, and was surprised when I had so many come flying up like this. I'm going to walk y'all back and show you the Keats. The Keats are a hoot, and they're afraid of their own shadow. And you can see Aiden and I started cleaning the basement out yesterday and bringing up the canning jars, we emptied the canning jars, started emptying the canning jars over in the compost bin. Many of these cans of beans and tomatoes and stuff, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law loved to can, and canned way more than they would ever use. So there were jars down there from many years back, unsafe. So we emptied them and I washed them. Of course, they'll have to be washed again. Alright. Just come here. Hi. 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 Are you being weird? I know. You are. You're just being weird. Alright. Listen. Alright, yeah. I know they're really loud and they're intimidating, and so you make them know that you're not intimidated. And that's it. Once they realize you're not going to run and that you're going to turn around and talk to them or even pick them up, they'll calm down. So you just have to spend a minute. I know that was probably ear piercing, and I apologize. But it's just what it is. You have to get them all zeroed in. After I lost my little female, we now have 4 males and 1 female. Alright, guys. Now I'm going to walk away, and you must not try to chase me. Okay? Alright. They got tired of it. They said, we can't scare her, so we're just gonna see what she's doing, then we're gonna leave her alone. Alright, I have some mama chickens over here trying to figure out what these guinea keets are doing. What are you guys doing, weirdos? And here comes the goose back. This one is the one that has the wrinkly neck, and for some reason he's my most friendly one. He likes to be fed. Do you see his neck? He's got a real wrinkly little neck. I don't know why, the others don't. But he always comes, he follows me around. Alright, let me stick this in here so you can see the keets. And they go back in the corner. They're just scared. Little dudes. Hey babies, hey. Hey. We turned their light off today simply because it's going to be so warm. So very warm. And as you can see, they have a little ramp to go down to, just a little small area, a little outside area. But they have where they can go outside and not be so hot. So far, to our knowledge, they have not been outside. What is it you guys want? What? What? I think you're just wanting to be petted, aren't you? I know you are. Huh? No, you can't bite. You can't bite. That's not okay. It's against the law. It is. Geese are weird. They're just weird. Why do you follow me? Why? Alright, I wanted to take you down and show you the baby ducks if I can get a good look at them. There they are. Look. Look how big they've gotten. Are they not adorable? They're just ginormous. Oh my goodness. She is a good mama. There were 12 originally. Let me see. And it looks like there's 10 maybe. Am I counting right? There's 11. So Erin said that's a stellar number for her to have been able to basically keep alive. So we've got an algae bloom happening in there. This pond is going to be totally reworked this spring. I think you guys remember we're talking about that. And it will be made larger. We're going to put rocks in the bottom. We can't put the pool liner or the pond liner simply because there's springs that feed into it from all over the place on the bottom. Look at them, they're so cute. So we have to keep all that access open. But there'll be you know, all kinds of lilies or whatever, different types of plants that will help. We were even talking about maybe some type of koi or some type of an algae eating fish. Do you see them? They really are cute. But whatever we're doing, I think we'll be able to get this land bridge widened and whatever holes are happening so that it's leaking down closed off. We'll be able to widen this and slant it so that any future little babies over there will have an easier time getting in and out of the water. And more because it's a concern for the chickens, because if the chickens were to actually fall in, they would have a harder time getting out because they're not quite as dexterous. And over here is Ferdinand coming this way. Look at that beautiful bird. He is so pretty, especially in the sun. He's just brilliant. Brilliant. I think he's going to go over into the sawmill shed, so we'll lose his coloring. Here come the geese again. Alright guys, plug your ears. We'll get through them and we'll go to the other side where they won't be able to follow us for a minute. We're still in the process of putting up the chicken wire. Putting up the chicken wire to keep them all contained over here. And that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be a good thing. For one thing, they're a little ornery with people. I have no fear of them whatsoever, and I know how to kind of calm them down fairly quickly. But they are a little intimidating for a lot of people. And they chase people, and they pinch people, and they're boogers. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how you train a goose. I think you have to train the people. That's the thing. People need to learn that when a goose is after you, just bend down and with one hand grab their neck so they can't bite you gently. You don't want to hurt them. And with the other arm, swoop it down and around and underneath their belly and pick them up. And you have to pick them up in such a way that they can't scratch you with their feet. And carry them around and just talk to them for a while. Because once they realize that that's what's going to happen, every time they try to come and bite you, they will stop coming to bite you. And then they'll want to come over and just be petted. All right. This is the yellow rose of Texas. Hugh says that his grandmother told him that this rose has been on the property. It's been moved numerous times, and I had even propagated a piece of it and I had taken it with me to Canton when we lived in Canton years ago. But this one is the yellow rose of Texas, and the saying is that it has been on this piece of property for 200 years. And what I know about it is that it will absolutely eat you alive. Look at the thorns on that puppy. Yeah. And they spread. They spread and they spread. So you have to make sure it's exactly where you want it. And then you have to just continue cutting off the little babies that shoot out from the bottom. So I don't know. I will never get rid of it though, because something that's piece of the history here, we don't want to get rid of it. I'm looking forward to getting back to walking. I wanted to take you down here and show you what's happening with the garden. My plants are doing okay. They're not stellar, and I think it's just because this garden is so hard. So we've kind of switched gears from what we originally had planned. And this has been a garden in years past. I think the last time we used to, Hugh had potatoes planted down here last year. But the last time it has been really used in this volume was the year before our son passed. And since then, there's just been pasture for the cattle. There's all our little asparagus, and they're doing pretty good. And then the colored beets, they're doing okay. To me, all of this should just look so much healthier and more vigorous than it does. I don't know. And then this little garden right here is just the rapini and the Yod Fa broccolis. And see, they're bolting really quickly. I'm going to have to get down there. I picked some the other day, but see, that one's already flowering. And what it is supposed to look like this. You can see the little broccoli floret at the top, and then they're long and skinny. And they're supposed to have, and that one needs to be harvested. I've got to come down here in just a minute and cut these. But a flavor, kind of a cross between a broccoli and an asparagus. So we'll be having these for supper tonight. And then down here is the cabbages. And the cabbages look pretty good. They're not getting eaten on too horribly. And then over here, have a little bit of spinach. And can't remember what flower these are. Need to get in here with my little hoe and clean some weeds out. Then I've got a patch of dill right here. Pretty good looking dill. It's small for what I think it should be this time of year. And here's some more of the same little flowers that were down further. And for this time of year, because they're a cool season annual, they should be bigger further along. There's the onions. The onions are okay simply because, onions you just kind of plant almost on the top of the ground. And so they didn't have to have a lot of loose soil for them to be happy. And then here we have a little bit of celery, a little bit of lettuce, and a little bit of snow peas that are not looking stellar, but they still may make, I don't know. We may end up having enough for a meal or two. We'll see what they do. But all in all, and here's the Walla Walla onions that I grew from seed, and they're doing okay. So anyway, I wanted to show you that and then explain what it is we're doing this year. I know some of y'all on Erin's videos have said you need to get in there and mow that grass and then till everything up. Well, that's actually not grass, that's winter wheat, and it doesn't spread, and it's an annual. So once it's gone, it's gone. I want to leave a pathway where the winter wheat is either just mowed down or stepped on and flattened out so that it will be just a more sure footing for me. You can kind of see here, but that one is pretty thin. There's not a whole lot left. But what it does provide is just, see, we have very slimy clay mud, and when it's wet, you step on that and you're going to slide down on your hiney. But if you have little tufts of grass to walk on, it does let you walk through here a little bit more sure-footed. So for this year, Erin's just going to make the rows like this. I didn't want to even get a tractor back in here. Had hoped that that wouldn't happen, but we weren't really far enough along to make that happen. So you can see I've got 2 rows right here that I'll be planting in next. And then all the way down through here, he has started cutting 2 rows with the plow, and then he's walking through the middle just with the little tiller to make the dirt nice and workable, put some aeration in it, and that will happen all the way down through here. And so that's what's happening right now. He's got about 3 weeks before I'll start putting anything in the garden at this point, except maybe some sunflowers. They kind of develop really quickly. But next year, or this winter rather, we will be building raised beds in here. That's really kind of a monumental kind of a thing. It's a little mind-boggling for me to think of it, but we have enough slabs that it sounds like it's something that's doable. We might not be able to do the entire garden in 1 year, but we'll be able to go as far as we can go. But what will happen is we'll dig down, say the garden spaces are going to be 4 foot wide, say 20 feet long. So we'll, in that 4 foot by 20 foot space, we'll dig down 1 foot, 12 inches, and we'll set that dirt to the side. Then we'll bring wood pieces over here, just the scrap, the branches, the whatever kind of product we have like that, and we'll fill that 1 foot up with the wood product. And then we'll build just maybe an 8 or a 12 inch high wall around that section, and the dirt that we took off of it we'll put back over top of it, and then we'll fill up the last maybe 3 or 4 inches with our compost and just kind of mix it in just a little bit. We don't have to go down very far, but just mix it in a little bit, and that should give us a really nice start to a much softer, much more aerated growing space next spring. And so this is just what we're dealing with right now, a garden that hasn't really been used in at least 8 years, and it's just because of what it's made out of, just all this clay soil. It's just hard. It's just not a happy garden, but it will be. I'll baby it along this year and get something out of it, and next year it will be a stellar space. But I also wanted to bring you to show you the rhododendron, and let me see if I can increase that. I think it's going to. All right, that's about a 40 to 50 foot length of rhododendron across the road at Chelsea's home. And he said he remembers when his family planted those, and he was, well, anyway, it's about 40 years ago. So It had to have been longer than that because we've been married for 43 years. And they were there then when we got married. So however long ago it was, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The rhododendron here are absolutely, let me bring it back, are absolutely stellar this year. I'm going to take you over to the road and show you my favorite rhododendron. And of course, these are my plans for growing here is, the cut flower farm, which I'm excited because I'll be starting Lisa Mason Ziegler's cut flower farm at some point this summer, because she has opened. It's no longer, you don't have to wait until November. Now it is on demand. So I don't have to wait. I can take it whenever I get ready to. And I'm hoping to be able to take it in time for it to actually be a real benefit for the fall, for the overwinter flowers. Because we are warm enough here to actually be able to overwinter a lot of the early flowers. You can see Pops has been down there with the tractor, kind of trying to smooth back some of those banks. We have a bunch of stuff right here that eventually will be weed-eated down and piled up, probably burned. But let me see. They're over here in the corner, behind the block. I saw it blooming the other day. Don't tell me it's already stopped. Oh my goodness. I think it has. It's a really deep, deep red. One of those rhododendron up there. And I wouldn't have believed that it would stop blooming already. But perhaps it has. Look over here. Just getting ready to pop open. Oh, not rhododendron. These are, help me out here, girls. My mind went blank. Laurels. These are mountain laurels. And they're beautiful. They're beautiful. But see, my goal for this little farm, because it is a small farm, is to create a nursery. I'm going to sit down here on the box. Actually, I'll just turn you around like this. Create a nursery and the cut flower farm. And like I said, I'll be taking Lisa's class this summer. She's fabulous. She knows what she's talking about. If any of y'all are interested in becoming a cut flower farmer, I would encourage you to consider checking her website out. It is the Gardener's Workshop, and she has been a cut flower farmer in Virginia, Newport News, Virginia, for 25 years, and now most of her time is spent actually teaching and writing. But we can actually take advantage of her expertise, and I'm really, really excited about it. Really excited. And again, I've got this thing turned around and I don't know where to look on the camera. I think it's up here. Let me see. It's up there. Hi guys. I have to figure out where to look when the whole face is actually the screen. On the back side, where the little good gravy, the little lenses, where they're at, I know exactly where to look. So anyway, I'm going to turn you back around because I can't. And look at our sky today. Is that not beautiful? It's called Carolina Blue. And I'm certain that all over the country, all over the world, the sky is that intensely blue at times. But I'm a little prejudiced with it. I absolutely love it. It feels so wonderful here today. I think we're supposed to get about 80 degrees, and there's a breeze blowing. And if I had a hammock in this corner, you know what? I think I could probably take a nap. However, Chelsea and Aiden and I are heading over to Lake Junaluska this afternoon. We haven't done anything together, just three of us in a long while. So we're going to head over there and check out a new little cafe that's right on the lake grounds. And just sit outside and look at the lake and just have a little little afternoon tea or something. And I'm looking forward to that. Um, and then I'm going to come home and last night I planted okra, or I started okra, but I've got to come home and plant more nasturtiums, because nasturtiums, if you're unfamiliar with this, and I just found this out myself just a couple of years ago, nasturtiums, as beautiful as they are, and they're edible. The leaves are edible, and the flowers are edible, and they're a beautiful plant. But they're also what's kind of called a trash plant or a throwaway, and that sounds terrible, and it breaks my heart to do it. But they're so wonderful at drawing in all different types of bugs that you don't want in your garden. And when you see a little infestation on your nasturtium, cut them off at the root, take them and dispose of them, and you will have taken care of a lot of your pest problem. So the idea is to keep nasturtiums growing all summer long. Every week or two, you grow enough nasturtiums to put back in place of your original nasturtiums, and just kind of succession planting them constantly, so that you're getting rid of the nasturtiums that are spent, basically. But so that's the goal this afternoon, is to finish up with that. Aiden is helping me in the basement. We're trying to get all the canning jars emptied and the basement cleaned up really nicely, because and that's a job, because my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, I'm not going to say they were hoarders. I'm not going to say that, but yeah, I am. They had everything. I think that they had a lot of stuff. And right now I have probably 10 of the large tubs with artificial flowers in them. That's for decorating the grave, and it's just just one grave. And so I don't know why they bought them. They must have found them on sale or something, but they take up a lot of room. So anyway, we got to get all this organized, get some shelving built down there, and we're going to build a a grow room. Yeah, that's now for you younger crowd. That's not what it sounded like. It's for starting seed, my garden seeds, and it will have lots of shelves. It will have a heater in it. It will have, all the shelves will be lit with their little grow lights, and I'll start probably thousands and thousands of little seed, got an ant on me, in there for weeks at a time, because when we get our little growing or our selling porch right here in this corner where I'm sitting, when we get that, I'll probably offer garden plants as well, because I love growing them. I love growing them. I just do. So that'll be something that I'll offer, and I'm just excited about everything that's going on here. And I'm over my little panties in a wad moment, and I'm determined to never let that happen again. I'm just going to let people that need to be unkind. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to let my grown children deal with their own issues. I say that, but you mamas out there know that it's probably not true. But yeah, I do. I try not to get involved in their lives unless they specifically ask me to. But anyway, everybody on the planet is broken. We're all broken differently, and we all just need to learn to deal with each other's brokenness and love each other through it, don't we? And I do love you, and I missed you guys, and I'm looking forward to a summer filled with growing things, and with walking, and with just chatting. What all we're going to do? Maybe a little cooking. I have a recipe. I might make a meatloaf for you all if you like meatloaf. My mother had the best meatloaf recipe on the planet, and so I might make a meatloaf, and y'all can join me with that. And other than that, I'm going to sign off because I think I'm almost at 40 minutes. This is going to be a long video. And for those of you that watched it all the way to the end, thank you. You all know that you're loved and you have been very missed. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.